What's up everybody, Kanai here and welcome back to Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. I'm working on the PTR still for patch 2.3 and trying to put together an updated version of my Amazing Minion Master build for Witch Doctor. I just got done doing one of these recently and then they announced that they're coming out with the Kanai cube, so I get to do it all over again. But it's fine. I mean, that's half the fun, right? Is putting together builds and reworking them, tweaking them, and trying to see, like, you know, what potential you can unlock and stuff like that. And it's interesting, this has turned out to be so much more involved than I thought it would be. I've probably put more time into this build than I've ever put into any build, actually, for any class. It's really been intense. Like, some 20 hours now I've been awake trying out a bunch of different stuff and testing and reevaluating all these different things. But for the Zunimassa set, still, yes, the Carnival Fetish Dagger build is going to be the king for Zunimassa. There's no disputing that, I don't think. But what I've put together here, I think, is quite good. It's fun, it's different, and yeah, I think that, like I said, my goal has been achieved. I wanted to try and put together something that was an alternative to that for the Zunimassa set that could get into the mid-40s and beyond with the right stats rolled on your gear, the ancients and stuff like that. Mission accomplished, I think, here. And it's been interesting how it's come about, because originally I was thinking that it was pretty much all going to be based on skills and how I managed to put skills together, but there has definitely been some gear changes that I wasn't anticipating, some additions and things like that, that ended up making the big difference. Like, from I could barely break into a Greater Rift 40, now I'm easily going into the mid 40s for this build. So the Zunimassa set has its strengths and its weaknesses. I've praised and I've cursed this set ever since they reworked it, mainly because of the slots that it takes up. It takes up our offhand, it takes up our ring. It's a pox. Literally, it is a pox on our build and what we can put together. But it turns out that this is actually one of the keys that made this build possible. You see, I keep trying to use Haunt as like one of my main skills for this build, and the reason for that is because of the way Zunimassa's 6-piece set works. Enemies hit by your mana spenders take 275% more damage from your pets for 4 seconds. Now, the AI is crazy with our pets. Our fetishes and our dogs and whatever the hell else that we have, they're just all over the place. They're wherever the hell they want to be. So if you want to ensure that they are dealing the most damage by getting hit by a mana spender, well, then you need a mana spender that reaches really far, pretty much everywhere that you can see enemies, and that's what Haunt does. And it's also super cheap. That's another reason why I like it. It also has, even though it doesn't say it here, and some people won't believe me, but if you watch the gameplay really closely, you will see that even with the poison rune, Haunt causes enemies to be slowed. It has like a 50-50 chance or something like that. It's not 100%, but it's like 50-50 or something like that, that Haunt will slow enemies that get hit by it. And it's crazy because you would think that it would definitely need to be at least a cold rune, but that's not the case. So Poison, Spirit, and Haunt, it allows our pets to deal additional damage from the Zunimassa set. It's super cheap to cast, so you can cast it all over the place, and you can cast it rapidly. It causes a slow effect, which is going to activate our Bane of the Trap legendary gem, and haunted enemies take 20% more damage from all sources with this rune. So altogether, it's really working well. Now, to make it even better, and one of the things that really turned it up a notch was, instead of just relying on Zunimassa, I put in 2 pieces of the Jade Harvester. This just kind of came out of nowhere when I realized, wait a minute, Jade Harvester works perfectly for Haunt, so let's squeeze in 2 pieces. And again, thanks to the quirky way that you can put a ring in an offhand for Zunimassa, that actually leaves us in open spaces for the shoulder and the hand if we want, for the way that this can be put together. So when Haunt lands on an enemy that's already affected by Haunt, it instantly deals 10 seconds worth of haunt. 4,000 weapon damage over the course of 12 seconds, right? And then you take 10 seconds, that's still like easily some 3,000 plus weapon damage that they're being hit instantly with, on top of the 4,000 that they're already taking, plus all of the other effects and stuff like that, which just makes it a super like efficient way to do all sorts of great things for this build. For Bane of the Trapped, for our pets to deal extra damage with Zunimassa, and all these different things. And it doesn't stop there. I'll get into that more later. Let's finish off with the gear. The rings that are being set up here are Unity and Royal Ring of Grandeur, because we want to be able to get the 6-piece bonus from Zunimassa, right? So we need the Royal Ring there. Now, I've only got Unity equipped here in this slot because it just happened to be a better rolled ring. The Royal Ring didn't have very good stats, so I cubed it in the Kanai cube, and that's what's in my jewelry slot. Furnace for my cubed weapon, Tasker and Theo for the increased attack speed in the armor slot, Mask of Jerem for additional pet damage with the diamond that's going to reduce cooldown. Actually, now that I think about it, probably don't need this diamond. It could probably end up being an amethyst, and I'll talk about why in a second. The amulet that I can never pronounce, this is my favorite amulet because there's so many times it seems like now that I'm being attacked by lightning damage, whether it's elites or whether it's the what is it, the corrupted angels or something like that. They shoot that lightning ball and then it zaps on the ground and stuff like that. There's lightning all over the place, it feels like, so this is my favorite amulet for that. Witching Hour for the belt. There is the Belt of Transcendence, but I don't think that it's better than having additional crit hit damage, personally. The legendary rings, we've got Bane of the Powerful with the Furnace. This is a really nice matchup. You're going to tear apart elites when you find them, and then you're going to get a great damage bonus for anything else that tries to step up to you after that. Bane of the Trapped, right, which is being triggered by a number of different skills that we have here, and Tegut. This is what I was talking about when I was saying there's more to Haunt now. Because Haunt is super cheap, because it can do good damage thanks to the Jade Harvester, the poison damage, the slow effect activating Bane of the Trapped, the 20% additional damage, and with Tegut, because like I said, it's so cheap, we can just spam the hell out of this skill. We can rack up some full stacks for Tegut really quickly, and on top of that, this is one of the really weird things I find about Haunt, is that even with no enemies around, you can still cast Haunt as you're trying to make your way to wherever the next dense portion of the Grift area is. And even though, like I said, there's nothing around, you can still cast Haunt, and it will keep your stacks going. I don't know what it is, I don't know where the Haunt is going, who's being haunted. Maybe it's somewhere in the spirit realm that witch doctors are so familiar with. I don't know, but this has to be one of the easiest skills to be able to keep Tegut stacks up pretty much all the time. There's almost no reason not to have full stacks. I mean, sometimes I'll fumble or I'll get lazy or something like that and I'll drop my stacks, but for the most part, I've got full stacks of Tegut up almost all the time, which is a really nice damage increase. This is another one of those things that really turned up this build and enabled me to push into higher grifts. One other thing that I am leaving here for last is the strong arm bracers. This also is another piece that really helped out this build a lot. The strong arm bracers with the skill Paragon acts as a knockback, and strong arm bracers then capitalizes on that by adding additional damage to that. Thing is, Paragon has like a 16-second cooldown, or does it? Let's take a look at what else we're doing with the skills here. We'll start with the passives. Graven Justice. Gain 1% of your maximum life and mana and reduce the cooldown of all of your skills by 1 second when an enemy dies within 20 yards. Thanks to Unity, we have some really nice survivability. Also thanks to the Zunimassa as well. All the fetishes mean we're taking less damage as well. So we have the power with all these different things to be able to stand toe-to-toe right in the face of all of our enemies and be there when they die to get a really nice cooldown reduction on all of our skills. This with Piranado and Strong Arm Bracers means we're casting Piranado very often, and it's synergizing. We're getting that damage bonus. It's fantastic. This combination single-handedly probably picked me up like 3, 4, maybe 5 grift levels right there, just being able to spam this ability, Piranado with Grave Injustice and Strong Arm Bracers. Let's go ahead and finish off with the passives. Spirit Vessel, of course. Confidence Ritual pairs really nicely with Grave Injustice. Since we're already within, trying to stay 20 yards within our enemies, we'll get another 25% additional damage to kill them with Confidence Ritual. Fetish Sycophants, I've toyed around with a lot of different passives here over the course of the day, testing out this build, and yes, Fetish Sycophants is probably what you're going to want to have. If you happen to have a Hellfire Amulet, then the other passive that I would recommend to go with this would be Gruesome Feast. I mean, maybe you want to explore around here with other things, but for me, I think Gruesome Feast is probably going to be the thing that I would want to put in there for another passive. Pierce the Veil, I really tried to make this work, and I can't recommend it because it's like trying to fit a square brick into a round hole. It's difficult, it's a pain in the ass, you're gonna run out of mana, it just sucks. You can't spam Haunt. Even as cheap as it is, you still can't spam Haunt as much as you want to be able to get all the other effects that we're trying to get in line. So it's more trouble than it's worth. I don't recommend Pierce the Veil. Let's go back to the active skills. Haunt with Poison Spirit, we've already talked a lot about that. Fetish Army, Legion of Daggers, because this is physical and because we have a very large army of fetishes, we want to roll physical as well on our elements, on our gear. Big Bad Voodoo with Slam Dance, this is giving us 30% damage increase there. Hex with Jinx, 30% additional damage there. Piranhas with Piranado, there's another 15% increased damage there as well. Of course, Strong Arm, Knockback, etc. Summon Zombie Dogs. I can't put together a pet build without Zombie Dogs. I just can't. Like, if I have to take off Zombie Dogs, then it's just not a Minion Master build to me. Like, it's the one thing that I refuse to not take off when I'm trying to put together a Witch Doctor pet build. Like, I want my freaking dogs. And for the longest time, I had this set to Leeching Beasts for the dogs heal you for 100% of your life on hit, which comes from our Paragon points as an extra means of survivability. But this build really doesn't struggle with survival. It struggles with dealing enough damage. So I'm going with Chilled to the Bone instead. The zombies bite and chill enemies for 3 seconds, and they take 15% increased damage from all sources because of that. So you can see we've just got all these freaking multipliers here to try and get as much damage as we can. I've squeezed this Zunimassa set for everything that it's worth and tried to get as much as I can from the skills. Like I said, I think the end result has been really good. It's met my goals. I wanted to get something that could surpass, for example, Greater Rift 40 without the need of a conduit, and be able to push into the mid-40s with or without a conduit or something like that. For the Paragon points, let's take a look at that before I forget. Maximum mana, because yeah, we want to be able to cast and ensure that we are always casting Haunt as much as we possibly can. Movement speed, intelligence for offense. This is kind of depending on like what's going on with your gear, how much crit hit chance are you missing, how much crit hit damage do you have an abundance of, or something like that. We really don't need cooldown reduction, but it doesn't hurt to have some more, but definitely focus on your crit hit chance and crit hit damage first. For your defense, life, resist all, armor, utility, resource cost reduction, life on hit, and area damage. There you go, guys. I put a lot of work into this build, I have to say, and like I said, even though it's not going to break any records or anything like that, I think that it's been a lot of fun to put together. It's a fun build to play. It performs well, and you know, maybe it will stay the way that it is now. I might try putting together an Amazing Minion Master using the new Helltooth, because that has some potential as well. In the meantime, I hope that you guys enjoy some gameplay here now from the new, well, work in progress, Amazing Minion Master build here on the PTR. Thanks for watching this video on my preview for the Amazing Minion Master build that I'm trying to put together here on the PTR. Again, this may not be the final iteration of it. This is just me trying to get the most that I possibly can from Zunimassa to see how much it can perform. I think it's doing quite well. It can, with the right gear rolls and with ancients and stuff like that, I believe that this can go into greater F50s, mid 50s, possibly even into the 60s. Who knows? I'm not sure if I'll actually be dedicated enough to see it that far myself personally. I may continue to just bounce around and try different armor sets and stuff like that. They've got two new, well, one reworked and one brand new armor set for the Witch Doctor. One is the old Helltooth, which is revamped to do some more enhanced things using Wall of Death now it's called, not Wall of the Zombies. And there's potential there. I can see some potential there, maybe putting a Minion Master, like I said, build together using that. I might try that. There's a new spider set as well, I can't remember the name of it, which uses all kinds of weird skills put together in some really interesting ways. So I'll be messing around with those here on the PTR, and of course when the patch goes live, it's probably still some weeks before the patch is going to be live for Diablo 3, maybe even a month. I think I said that in the Crusader build video as well. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just going to keep testing, keep tweaking, and I hope that you guys are enjoying these previews of the builds that I'm working on here in Diablo 3. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Click the like button to support these D3 videos here on my channel, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next build. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.